I'm Garrison Hollinger. I have an interior design firm in Portland, Oregon. I'll be here all day. Hope that works out for you. And we're going to go ahead and continue on. The KBIS Disruptor series is a new feature of the KBIS Next Stage, and I'm very excited about the next speaker. The KBIS Disruptor series was conceived by the stage programming team to identify both people and brands who are truly disrupting and forging their way through the complicated landscape with new ideas and actions. Yesterday, the Disruptor speakers were from Amazon, who has disrupted consumer purchasing more than any brand than Amazon. And tomorrow's Disruptor series lineup includes 3 people who are tackling the metaverse and making it work for their businesses. But today we have Judaline Cassidy, who is disrupting the plumbing industry one amazing initiative at a time. Judaline Cassidy is a feminist plumber, tradeswoman activist, and public speaker. Her uniqueness not only lies in past of her career, but also in personality, as she is charming, kind-hearted, diligent, and compassionate. A native of the Twin Islands of Trinidad and Tobago, Judaline was amongst the first 3 women selected to learn plumbing at the John Donaldson Technical Institute of Trinidad. How many female plumbers do you know? Anyone? Hands? This is going to be so cool. In addition to mastering her trade for over 2 decades, she founded Lean In Women in Trades to help tradeswomen share information and learn from each other. She started a nonprofit organization, Tools Tiaras, Inc., to inspire and mentor young girls and women about trades that are non-traditional for women. Her endeavors have tremendously changed the lives of many, especially women and young girls. She has been featured as a speaker and earned numerous recognitions and awards. She is self-motivated and willing to spread such energy to other women. With longevity in the plumbing field, she knows the pain, challenges, and difficulties that come with women working in male-dominated fields. She is a CNN champion for change and is definitely a warrior in a hard hat. Prepare to be inspired by Judaline Cassidy.
Thank you. High five. Good morning. Before we begin, I would like us to acknowledge the indigenous peoples whose land we stand upon. They teach us that Mother Earth is a source and not a resource. They teach us that water is life and life begins in water. And before we continue, I want to also thank the seen and unseen hands that make this magic happen. We want to thank the people who make our beds, set up the chairs, the audiovisual guys who make the magic happen on the stage. We want to say thank you. Without them, this is not possible. Thank you. So I want you to know this, that I want you to know that you can dismantle and disrupt any obstacles in your way. And when I am finished telling you my story, I hope that you're inspired to be a disruptor. So my story begins in the beautiful Twin Islands of Trinidad and Tobago. The Twin Islands are filled with calypso, soca, and the trade winds blowing. That is where I'm from. And growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, I didn't have a mother or a father to guide me. I had my great-great-grandmother. And growing up, my dream and my passion was to be Wonder Woman and a lawyer. And when my great-grandmother passed away, I no longer could attend law school. So the next best lucrative option was the trades. So I had a choice of either choosing plumbing or electrical. And I love to solve problems. My dyslexic brain always wants to solve it. And my simple solution was electrical, you get shock. Plumbing, you get wet. Plumbing, here I come. And that is how I chose my path for plumbing. Now, plumbing, it was not easy getting in. The instructor of the school, they didn't let women in at that time. And I literally dropped on the ground and did push-ups and showed them that I can do it. that I could lift cast iron pipe. And that's how I began my journey. I got married and I came to the U.S. And before I got back into plumbing, I was a housekeeper, a nanny, a babysitter, a personal shopper. But that love, because I have had in my life 2 committed relationships. 2. I've been married twice, but 2 committed ones. Plumbing and coffee. And the minute I got back into plumbing, my life changed. And the thing about getting into plumbing, it was really, really hard to get into the union. I was working for a company, and they sent every one of us who were apprentices to go down to the union hall, pay dues, and become union members. And when I got there, they took all the young men who were my co-workers. The guy looked at me and he said, "Go home and do dishes." A different time. Don't know. That's not the end. That's what's the beautiful thing. That's not the end of the story. Because here I stand. That's not the end of the story. That same person. So before that even goes further, I went to my car and I cried. But I knew that I'm a fighter. I've always been a fighter. So now I continue working on the job, and an amazing man was my superhero, Brian Tutora. Brian Tutora saw beyond my color, my height, my gender. And he spoke to someone who spoke to another someone, and then I think that someone also spoke to another someone, and then I got into the union, and I was the first woman to get into the Staten Island local, 371, because a man did that for me. And that same guy who said, "Go home and do dishes," became my biggest fan, of course. He became my biggest fan. He really did, that same person. So sometimes in life, we gotta remember that today's no is tomorrow's yes. And that's how I've lived my life. And because of plumbing, I then was able to have a skill that I could pass on. And I've always wanted to see more women in plumbing, because let me tell you, plumbing, you make good money. That's why I'm still doing it. You know, to be a plumber and improve people's lives every day through plumbing is a gift. I wake up every day with that gratitude and say, thank you, God, for this gift. And I wanted to pass that on. So I had a dream and a vision that I wanted to pass this on to girls and get more women in the plumbing industry. And I didn't do it. And it's the same thing with you. I want you to take a moment and think about that thing that you want to do to make an impact, right? You think about it, but you don't follow through. So in order to make it happen, you did one of the steps already. You conceived it. Then you have to believe it. And this is a tricky step that everybody gets tripped up. You have to do it, right? So you conceive it, you believe it, and you do it. So I dreamt it and I wanted to do it. I went and I was a speaker on the Maker stage in 2016, I believe. And on the stage, in my speech, I said, you should give a girl a tool and a tiara. It's given her confidence, independence, and power. And when I spoke those words, every single one of us here, the universe sent us to fulfill a purpose for the collective. We are here just in this earthly vehicle of a body for a purpose. And the minute I said those words, the universe said, that thing that you wanted to do for girls, you gotta go do it. And I went home and I Googled how to run a nonprofit. And to this day, I am still running a nonprofit on Google. All right? So anybody can do this. You can be a disruptor. You can be a person who brings magic into somebody's life. Now, that was the first step. I started a nonprofit, I Googled it, and I keep doing it. Now, I have to raise money to have an all-girls summer camp. I don't know where I was going to get the money from, but I was going to do it. Nothing stopped me. I sold my car. Don't cry, I had two. So I sold the car that I had to fund the program. I sold the car. I picked up water bottles and cans on the job site to fund the nonprofit to have the first camp. What else I did? I did a lot of stuff to raise the money. And one of the things that I did was I started a campaign. And when I started the campaign, I needed $24,000 to have the camp for free. And I kept on social media, posting, begging friends and family, anybody who would donate to support girls in the trades. And this program is free to girls. They learn plumbing, electrical, engineering, welding, auto mechanic, female pilots, anything that is male-dominated careers, we do with the girls. We put tools in their hands, figuratively and literally. So I wanted to make this happen. And I learned a valuable lesson. I had to be vulnerable. And that's very hard for me. Being an island girl, being a construction worker, there's no crying in construction, right? So I had to be vulnerable, and I was struggling. And the last set of money, I couldn't see it happening. And in the universe, God always steps in. He spoke to me, he said, you have to be humble and ask for help. Because that's where a lot of us struggle. We have the vision, we have the purpose, we have the mission, but boy, I'm gonna do it myself. That was me. And I humbled and I wrote these words on Facebook, and I cried while I was writing it. I said, anybody who's listening, I've always been a hard worker. Everything in my life that I've accomplished, I did it on my own. But I know that I'm a superhero, and even superheroes needs help. Could you be my hero? And that was my post. And by the end of the day, I raised the money, being vulnerable. And that has changed my life and teach me now that it's okay to ask for help. And it's okay for you to ask for help also. And with that, getting that money, we able to start and have that camp. And to see little girls change from, I can't do this, to I got this, was amazing. And every single day, I get up and I be a plumber, and on the weekends and once a month, I do workshops and I take off and have a summer camp for girls. It reminds me why I am doing what I'm doing, why I am disrupting the system to make sure that plumbers continues to build and take care of people. And one of the things that people don't realize, and we want to get more girls into this, is that at the end of the day, how many of you have needed a lawyer before a plumber? Put your hands up if you did. That's what I'm talking about, right? Every single of you right here now wish you had my number so I could install all those fancy things that you just saw. That's what I do. That's what I do. And we are training a generation of girls, and I also go to high schools and talk to boys, because we as a country have to understand, if we do not inspire the next generation to pick up the tools, you're going to pay more money. I already make a lot of money. If you want to pay me more per hour, I will do it. It will cost you more. Let us inspire a generation to pick up the tools and keep building this country. Without it, it doesn't exist. We have to do it. And you can be part of that. You might have your own mission, your own vision of making a stand. Use me. I mean, listen, of course you see, I am a black immigrant woman with an accent. So of course, things wasn't easy. But I didn't let that stop me. I used that as fuel to be a disruptor, an activist, and the feminist plumber that you see now. And I know you can do it, because you are a warrior, okay? You are a change maker, and also, you are a game changer. And there's somebody out there somewhere waiting for you to bring that magic to them. I do it every single day with plumbing, and I do it with the girls. I wake up every single day with gratitude, and I say to the universe, thank you for my job, and thank you for my life, and the opportunity to inspire another generation. So you have to know that you can do it. Let my life be an example. Listen, okay, I am 4'11" and 7/8. Do not try to steal my 7/8. It's important, right? Okay, I am that tall, and I have been a plumber for 25 years plus. I stopped counting, so I could stop aging myself. But every single day, and every time I'm with the girls, I get to see how important what we do is making an impact. And when we have camp, I have this scene that I do every time the start of camp with the girls. Years ago, when I first started, I was Mel Gibson in Braveheart, and we would pound the table, right? But now, since I saw the movie Warrior Queen, I kind of like flipping the vision. But there are two of the most powerful words in the universe is I am, all right? It's I am. And I tell the young ladies, I got questions, and the questions, I want you to answer I am. And this, you didn't come here to sit in your chairs and just look at me. You got to participate. Put the work in, baby, like I tell the girls. Put the work in. So I am going to ask you some questions, and the answer to my question is I am. What is the answer to my question? The girls do better than you, and they're like 6 years old. Is that all you got? You came here to be inspired. The most powerful words in the universe. You tell yourself, I am fearless. I am cute, right? I am smart. I had to study for a plumbing master's test, and I said, I have a magnificent brain. I am magnificent. I passed the test. Yeah. But this is what you're gonna answer like you mean it, so your whole body can feel it, right? We have to feel it and believe it, like I told you. Conceive it, believe it, and do it. So what is the answers to my question? I need a little bit louder. Wake this place up. Come on. I am. Come on, let's do this. What is the most important word in the universe? All right, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want you to answer I am, and shout it out so your whole body believe it. All right, don't be shy. Nobody's watching you. You think everybody's watching you, but they're not watching you. They're watching the short girl on stage, all right? So, so here's the question. Who is a warrior? Who is a change maker? Who is a disruptor? You are. All right? So I want you to use this moment and go out there and be that magic for someone who's waiting on you. Someone is waiting on you to show them what is possible. And every day, working with the girls, and I say it for myself too. I put my hands over my heart, and I say, I am fearless, I am strong, and it gives me the power and the strength to go out there and knock on people's door and tell them, here I am, your superhero. I am here. So I want you to remember that Greta Thunberg said this, no one is too small to make an impact. And if I am making it at 4'11" and 7/8, okay, you can do it. So go out there and make the magic happen in your lives. Now, before we go, I don't even say a little. I'm a big show off when it comes to being a plumber. Everybody knows I'm a plumber. Everybody knows I love being a plumber. But the most amazing thing happened recently, right? Because I want to inspire kids to become plumbers. I have this book, My Mom is a Plumbing Superhero. It's a coloring book. It's a free coloring book. We have some. If you want it, I will gladly sign it, right, for you. And you could give it to your kids, and they could learn about plumbing, and that plumbers do not only install and unclog toilet bowls. So if you want, we have some books here. Come over and get it. And please remember that you are the magic, and you have all that you need to make this happen. Thank you so much.